Hello everyone and welcome to Colors Fades Gaming Channel. This is the top 10 bug fixes we'd like to see make it into No Man's Sky. Now, I love No Man's Sky, and odds are if you're watching this video you do too. Hello Games has done a pretty good job updating the game since launch with some pretty massive updates like Next and most recently Beyond. Unfortunately, there are still some bugs in the game. Some of the bugs we're going to cover in this list have been around since launch. It would do the game a great service to take care of some of these bugs. It is, after all, a really good game. It could just be so much better. Without further ado, here's the list. Number 10. Broken ship slots. One of the bugs that has persisted since the Beyond update has been the starship slot bug. It only happens on starships that you salvage yourself. The bug occurs when the player tries to repair one of the slots on their ship. They can't because when they click on it, it asks for the wrong materials. This is a minor bug to get around because eventually you're probably going to sell your ship and upgrade it to a better one, but still, it's annoying for players who go through all the trouble of finding a ship and repairing all the slots. Number 9. X key renaming. One of the more annoying bugs that came out of the Beyond update is the X key renaming bug, at least for PC users who have to hold down the X key, causing a whole bunch of X's to scroll across the screen. They then have to delete all of those before they can finally properly rename the planet. It's a minor bug, but this didn't used to exist before the Beyond update. Number 8. Icons in space. One of the things that has changed since the Beyond update is the way that icons in a system are presented to the player. They used to be presented at the edge of the screen, so it was easy for the player to orient the spaceship in that direction. But now it seems like many of the icons are no longer displayed that way, including the space station central to the system. I assume that these changes might have been made for the virtual reality folks, but they have hindered the gameplay on PC, and it would be nice to go back to the old way of displaying the icons at the edge of the screen. Number 7. The Upload All button is broken. It's a small, straightforward bug that appears to have happened after the Beyond update. No matter how many times you press the button, it won't upload all your discoveries. It's not a huge problem because you can go in and upload all of them individually, but it was a nice convenient thing to have and it clearly doesn't work. Number 6. Trees growing back inside your base after they respawn. This bug occurs when the planet respawns some of the materials that players have already harvested. It's a little bit annoying to land at your landing pad and see trees growing up through it or part of your base. Again, it's not game breaking, it's just annoying. Number 5. Tabs not remembering. The game has a really bad habit of not remembering the last tab that the player had open. For instance, here I'm opening my inventory. It defaults to the starship, so I tab over to the exosuit. After I get done interacting with my storage container, I'm going to open my inventory again, and it defaults back to the starship, forcing me to hit the exosuit tab once again. It would be a lot better if the game would simply remember the last tab that the player used whenever they want to open their inventory screen. Number 4. The Pulse Engine Hitbox. This bug basically boils down to using the Pulse Engine and the game not smartly choosing the thing closest to the center of your reticule. It keeps wanting to aim at other things. For instance, here I'm trying to go to the space station, but it kept wanting to choose the space anomaly instead. It's not a game-breaking bug again, but it's just one of those quality of life things that would be so much better if they could fix it. Number 3. The Storage Container Snafu. This bug has existed since long before the Beyond update, and what it does is prevent you from being able to remove certain items from certain spots inside your storage container. The crux of the bug is that the player can't remove the item they want from their storage container, and they have to first remove the items from the top left slot in the storage container, and then remove hidden items from the storage container before they can finally remove the item that they want to remove. In the pantheon of bugs that have plagued No Man's Sky since launch, this one is right up near the top, and it needs to be fixed. Number 2. Broken quests. Broken quests have been a plague for No Man's Sky since the game launched. For instance, just type the words Base Computer Archive Quest into Google, Steam, or Reddit and see how many records are returned. An example of such a quest from my most recent playthrough was called Ghost in the Machine. It says, Apollo's contact will help expand your base. Locate them on the galaxy map when in space. For PC players, this is the X key. Unfortunately, bringing up the galaxy map reveals no icon for this quest, even with the quest selected in the journal. Sometimes these sorts of quests can be reset and restarted in your current galaxy, but many times they're just flat out broken, and there's nothing left for the player to do except sit with an incomplete quest in their quest journal. Progress in No Man's Sky is significantly tied to the quests. Being able to do things like acquire new technology or expand your base require the progression of the quests, and when they're broken, the player is halted. For a game that's so reliant upon its quests for player progression, it's a surprise that No Man's Sky still has so many incomplete, broken, or buggy quests in it. Number 1. Liftoff from trade stations. Now I can understand if some people disagree and think that buggy quests should be in the number 1 slot. But the problem I'm going to show you now has been in the game since launch, and it's surprising that through all the game's updates, this has never been addressed. The problem is that the game doesn't shoot your aircraft high enough into the air when it leaves a trade station, causing the player to crash into the trade station tower more often than not. The fact that this problem still exists in the game from day 1 of launch till now, despite easy solutions, is kind of mind-boggling. For instance, the simplest solution would be to just shoot the ships higher into the air to clear the trade outpost tower. But there's also another solution to be considered. When a player lands at a space station, for instance, the landing pad rotates around so that the ship is pointing out when the player wants to leave. There's absolutely no reason that a trade station landing pad couldn't rotate just before takeoff, so that every single ship that was leaving the trade station would be pointing away from the tower when they launch. Alright folks, that does it for the top 10 bug fixes we'd like to see make it into No Man's Sky. I'm your host, Colors Fade. If you agree or disagree, drop a comment down below. If you like the channel or you like the video, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.